Hey everyone, what's up? This is Mozart speaking. A quick rundown of the crypto market at the start of this week and what I'm generally expecting. First up, Bitcoin. We won't dwell on it for too long. Not much has changed since the last review. So I mentioned that this diagonal support, we could be moving around like this, trading it, bouncing off it, and heading up. So for now, we're just trading it. I don't know if this bounce will happen or not, or if we'll trade it one more time. It's going to depend a lot on Trump's tariffs he's already announced some tariffs on metals at 25%. But more will be added, as I understand it, either today or tomorrow evening in the form of retaliatory duties. And the final picture will depend on this. In any case, I'm still expecting this reaction. Either like this, or somehow like this. But it is not very good to cover this candle. So for now, I don't expect this candle to be covered. We're more interested in altcoins. So, what's going on with the altcoins? Well, take a look. Total 3, yeah, that's the market cap of altcoins without Bitcoin and Ethereum. So, it's not exactly pleasant, but it's not critical either that yesterday, we closed at $872 billion, below the 900 billion mark. It's not great. It would have been better if we had held above 900 billion, even better at 920, but it is what it is. On the other hand, the nativist split from the bottom of last week closed overall in a bullish direction. So, even though the candle is red, the close, top, third, I usually divide the candle into 3 ranges: bullish, bearish and average close, price action, so-called candlestick analysis, and we have a bullish close. Despite the fact that we updated this December low, we corrected by 3. The total correction for total 3 was almost 36%. Plus, we took out those stop losses and closed part of that gap. Plus, according to Fibonacci, we've retraced from the entire rise. Almost at. But 50 has definitely been tested. And overall, so far, according to the rules of classic technical analysis, we have a flagpole. Here it is, and we have it. Correction, in the form of a downward sideways trend, which in this context is a common flag. So, at the very least, what am I expecting right now? First, a retest of some zone. This one, to start with, that's roughly the range. $950 billion to $1 trillion. We will most likely come back here. Even if we end up going back and all of this gets wiped out, it will all lead into a bear market. A retest is likely going to happen with a higher degree of certainty. This is where I'll make my decision. What does it depend on? It depends on how we get here, with what force, what will be in the news, and what the daily candles will draw. Now I can't say how we will get there. But most likely, we'll get there. Next. Are we going to go from here, or are we going to trade a bit more? This candle. It's a 50-50 chance. I don't know. It's going to depend a lot on what Trump says. Just as we can go from here, we can also go down. So we might dip a little more down to around 800, 780. And still head towards $1 trillion. In the end, it's really going to depend a lot on Trump's tariffs. I can't say right now, it's beyond my control. I don't know. But, before we update this low, with a high degree of certainty, if we end up going into a bear market, we'll first test around the trillion mark. Even if that's the case. But at the same time, if we come there sharply, strongly, and nothing terrible will happen with duties, or if they bring something there, like a law final approval of reserves being exhausted, and there will be a strong approach. I won't close everything, I'll wait. It's quite likely that this bullish flag will play out to the height of its flagpole. And then the previous scenario around. The $1 trillion will still hold. Why am I keeping it in play? Because we have one momentum since Trump's victory. The technical momentum, the throwback on Monday was strong. On Monday, it was 82. On the RSI, well, 82. Let's round it off. Then we correct. FIBA almost. Perfect. We've practically corrected. We made a big correction. After that impulse, without any divergences, we hit the 50 mark on the RSI. Here I'm using the standard one, 13 to 14, not that important. If we look at the history, how that total 3 played out from the central line, we can generally see the same thing. 2021, how it played out after the Chinese ban. Momentum, drop, 50 mark, and then another impulse with a new high. And then we head into a bear market. The same thing happened in 2018. A drop to around 50, a pullback, and then heading into a bear market. But even there, even in 2021, that happened through a bunch of divergences. So even if we look at the first impulses of 2024, January, approval of the Bitcoin ETF. Next, February, March, the next impulse. And then we had this long sideways movement. So there were two impulses here. There were no divergences here, but there were two impulses. There were two impulses. That's important. At least two. Here we only have one impulse for now. Here it is. This high, the candle closure, covered this one. This is all considered one impulse. This is one entry. So this is not a reversal pattern. And it happens much more often. In candlestick technical analysis, there's a new high. These are the peaks, the formation, the divergences, everything, and then the drop smoothly into a bear market, with bounces, of course, up but heading that way. So, this happens more often. Well, what can I do in trading? What can I do? I can analyze probabilities, statistics, and use my own experience. That's exactly what I'm doing right now and what I'm telling you about. So, up until now, I'm waiting and giving a high probability that this year we'll see the capitalization. As we get there, I said, but with an even greater dual probability, 70 to 80%, I would give, well, at least a retest of a 940 trillion range. This is where the altcoins will come, even if this scenario doesn't happen. We'll cancel it. Which, I don't really understand how, why, and for what purpose. Still, this is the base, the standard. It's like, to turn around from the current levels, it has to be something really strong to go into a bear market from here. Well, something really bad and not good has to happen. But even if that's the case, I'm out of here. I'll see how we get there. But I'll talk about that later. That's the situation with the altcoins. By the way, the alt season this year, well, not just this year, but in this whole cycle, isn't classic. It's already clear, basically, that there won't be a repeat of 2021. With a high degree of probability as well. Well, and as if it were already obvious that, when such a blurring of capitalization by thousands, by tens of thousands of coins that did not yet exist in 2021, of which the lion's share was taken by memes, which are now simply rolling to the floor, well, it is impossible to pump everything. There won't be enough liquidity. There just won't be enough. In 2021, it was enough. Right now, it just won't be enough. They would have already pumped way higher if there was enough. Because from my point of view, Bitcoin is already somewhere in the final stages, right before a big correction. By a big correction, I mean around 25 to 30%. Maybe 35. This is how it will most likely be, and these are only some isolated stories like Solana, and Sui, Cardano. Possible link. Maybe Avalanche is in question, but also possible Litecoin, of course, Ether is in question already. Most likely, yes, despite its weakness, it likes to hit at one fine moment, directly specifically, with something interesting. I honestly don't know about the memes. Most of them are out of the loop. Like Dogecoin and Pepe, give or take. Well, Ethereum seems to have a better chance right now compared to Dogecoin and Pepe based on the charts. Pepe. Oh, Doggy and Pepe. Pepe has dropped by 70%. That's quite a drop from the peak. So, if we go up from the current levels, it's unlikely to reach ATH. If it does, it won't be by much. And then head into a bear market. Well, it's just statistical. This is something from that. All of this has taken away liquidity. Trump took a lot more. Melania, but they all merged too. Just some thoughts. That's it. I've said everything I wanted to say. According to Bitcoin signals, keep an eye on Telegram. Thanks everyone for tuning in. This was Mozart. Have a great week and goodbye to all.